here we are going to deal with the applications of Gauss law.
For that, I am going to consider a long straight charged wire which is having positive charges. The positive charges on the wire is distributed uniformly because it is having infinite length. We have to consider the charge distribution as the linear charge distribution, which is a new term for us, which is lambda. Charge per unit length is considered here. And according to Gauss law, we have to construct a Gaussian surface which should have symmetry, and so that I am going to consider a surface of a cylinder, and here this is a Gaussian surface. We know the electric field lines are um, going outside from the positive charge on all the directions, and here I am going to consider a very small area, an infinitesimal area which is considered here, and ds vector is acting perpendicular to the area which I am considered, and on the top surface I am going to consider another infinitesimal area, and the area vector is pointing away perpendicular, and the E vector is outwards. Similarly, on the bottom surface I am going to consider the area vector and the electric field. At the bottom and top surface they are perpendicular to each other, therefore they are 90 degree, and the cylinder has a radius r and length L, so that on the curved surface the angle between the electric field and the area vector is 0 degree. On the top surface and bottom surface it is 90 degree. Therefore cos 90, we know cos 90 is 0, therefore we don't bother about top and bottom surfaces. According to the flux equation, phi is equal to Ea cos theta, and by Gauss law phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. And here at the curved surface flux is maximum, and at the top and bottom plane caps it is 0 because of theta is equal to 90 degree. Therefore, the total flux can be calculated only by considering the curved surface itself. We don't need to bother about the plane caps, since no flux is going to be emanating from those surfaces. Okay. Then we know the linear charge density lambda is nothing but charge per unit length. Considering the infinite length of the conductor, it is difficult for us to calculate. So we are going to calculate the charge density, which is q divided by L, that is lambda, that is lambda is equal to q divided by L. Whenever you give a charge to a straight conductor, the charges will be distributed in a linear manner. So the linear charge density lambda is equal to charge per unit length, so q becomes lambda L, and the area of the cylinder is known to us, that is the circumference multiplied with the length 2 pi r into L, and by substituting the value of A, we have E into 2 pi RL, because of cos 0 is equal to 1, E into 2 pi RL is equal to lambda L divided by epsilon naught. L can be cancelled on both sides, and therefore E is equal to lambda upon 2 pi r epsilon naught. Okay, this is the electric field due to charged infinite long charged straight wire, and it is clear that the electric field due to the infinite long charged wire is independent of it is dependent on the distance, because lambda is a constant, 2 pi is a constant, and epsilon naught is a constant, and it is inversely proportional to the distance. If we move the point away from the charged conductor, the field strength will be decreased. Okay, this is what Gauss law, and by the application of Gauss law, it is very easy for us to calculate the electric field by considering the symmetry rather than applying Coulomb's law. This is one of the main advantage of Gauss law, and we are going to consider many applications of Gauss law in the following videos. Okay, thank you.